Do you think people have the ability to control the pace of time? In this video, I'll be tackling that very question and giving you tips on how to slow down time as you get older. My name's Jeff, and my goal is to make psychology make sense. Stick around. Life is short, but it's also the longest thing we ever get to do. So many of us take this for granted year after year and throw away precious moments and opportunities that could be used to create a more fulfilling life. By changing the ways in which we work with time, we can create dramatic shifts on the pacing of our lives. So, how exactly do people even see time in the first place? One group study in the early 2000s found that there is a difference between time estimation and time perception. Time estimation is a guess or estimate on how much time has passed over a certain interval. Researchers in the reference study would ask participants to guess when a minute has passed, and they would be measured on how accurate they were. As people age, their ability to estimate time shifts only slightly. Time perception, however, is a different story. When asked about vast periods of time, like a decade or so, older individuals tend to feel that those blocks of time go by much quicker than younger people do. One popular school of thought around time is the ratio model. This model suggests that the longer we've been around, the smaller a day, month, or year feels relative to our total lifespan. That is, if you're 5 years old, 1 year is an entire 20% of your entire life. When you're 65, however, 1 year is only a meager 1.5% of your total lifespan. Both are 365 days to two people, but one is proportionately smaller to one person versus the other. As you continue to age, the ratio diminishes, and 1 year becomes a much smaller percentage of your current age. As you grow older, you might have a been there, done that mentality. There's less new experiences, less novel things, less changes or significant events in life. Things kind of mesh into a routine. The older you get, the more neural connections you formed in your brain. Also, your body physiologically changes. Your neurons will actually fire at a slower rate as well. The amount of dopamine you produce when you're older is also smaller. Some research has even shown that the levels of dopamine we have in our bodies can affect how we perceive time itself. Less dopamine means time starts flying. With that logic, it makes sense why time would seem to go by faster as we age. Our emotions can affect it as well. When we're happy and blissful, time can seem to just pass you by quickly, but when we're scared or stressed, time seems to slow down. When you're at a concert with your favorite band, time can seem to zip right by. When you're sitting in a boring classroom with a teacher you absolutely hate, time drags on like you wouldn't believe. We also have circadian rhythms and proteins in our body that help us regulate internal clocks that can adjust accordingly based on daily habits over time. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and experiences with time as you get older. So we've talked about what might cause these fluctuations in time as we age, but what can anyone do about this? The ways in which we experience or sense time is called chronoception. By its very nature, it's subjective. With all of this in mind, there's several ways to slow down time as we age, or at least get more value out of the time that initially seems to be passing us by so fast. The first is to try and make new friends or rekindle with old friends you haven't seen in a while. Rebuild connections and dive deep into other people's worlds. Experience new things together and take fun trips that you always talk about but you never do. Literally just do it. Send the text, book the trip, say yes to things, make it happen. The second thing to do is to try and learn new things or pursue hobbies you might not have tried before. By learning new skills and hobbies, your brain will start forming new neural connections and you'll be introducing mountains of new memories and stories into your life. In the moment, these things may go by quickly because they're novel and fun. But if you continue to do them, the value you'll get over time and the very feeling of time passing you by may dissipate. Give yourself things to look forward to and shake up the routine once in a while. You will always thank yourself for it. The best you get out of it, even if it ended up being a negative experience, is a story and a lesson. Another problem that people face when it comes to time flying by as they age is that they're so caught up in the past or the future, not the present. There's a cultural ADD that forms from excessive usage of social media. Everything is a comparison. Everyone always has to prove something to the world and share that next big shiny object. We get so wrapped up in what was and what could be. A massively overlooked area in overall well-being is meditation. There's overwhelming scientific evidence that proper meditation can lead to an improved sense of mindfulness and presence. It can reduce stress, help your immune system, bring you more joy, help regulate your nervous system, and generally help you feel more grounded and aware. It doesn't even have to be spiritual or religious if that isn't your thing. It can literally be about just sharpening your focus and awareness and practicing breathing techniques. I'll be sharing full videos in time about meditation, so be sure to keep a keen eye out for that. Journaling is another great technique that you can use to really help change the way you perceive time to get the most out of every day, month, or year that all of us have to share. The idea with journaling is that it helps you empty your busy mind, keeps your thoughts and cognitive patterns organized. It helps you set goals or uncover what those goals should even be in the first place. It can de-stress you, inspire creative ideas, boost memory, and even help you become a better writer and communicator because you're literally writing. The way that I do this is that I have a super cheap spiral notebook that I use, and every night before I go to bed, I write down things that I'm thankful for. I write down things that are stressing me out or something I'm thinking about a lot lately, and any cool or funny ideas I might have. I've done this for years and have every day documented along with books filled with business ideas, goals, life milestones, and fun stories that I can always look back on and share with others if I want. You don't have to go super in depth with all of this, but if you do a little bit each and every day, on top of all the other things we talked about in this video, you can see significant changes over time. Time is undoubtedly the most valuable asset anyone can have. It is absolutely priceless, and no matter what anyone does, they can't acquire any more of it after they've lost it. By understanding how our brains perceive and experience time, and applying what I talked about earlier to help you rewire your brain and shift the perceptions you have of the world, you'll see drastic changes in the long term on how fast things tend to happen. I've really made an effort, especially recently, to rebuild old relationships and make new friends, pour in my hobbies, and doubling down on this YouTube channel, starting martial arts, and learning how to fly planes and planning trips all over the place. We all get one shot at life. There's no pauses, no do-overs, no go-backs, nothing. That's it. It's constantly going by us, and every second that we're wasting is a second that could be used to build a fulfilling life. This isn't about hustle culture or grinding endlessly. What this really is about applying these principles in ways that work for you. Take your time and work these things into your daily life very slowly. It's one thing to slow down time, but it's a whole nother thing to try and manage it. If you are struggling with your time management, you definitely want to check out my last video with the viral YouTuber Djibouti Dubs. There's so many gems in that video that would be really helpful for you on your journey. So for all things psychology to help you think, feel, and perform better, stay tuned right here on Psychology of Living.